friends, after our home where we live in, which is that one place that we spend most of our time in? Yes, it is our workplace or office, isn't it? Now, why is it that it is the most important place? Because probably 10, 12, 14 hours of our work time we spend in our workplace or office. So just as we keep our home organized and clean so that we feel good at staying there or being ourselves, don't you think that we should organize our workplace as well, or keep our workplace organized and absolutely clean? Yes, we need to do so, right? So let us go and see, or let us see through the slide presentation or PPT presentation, as in what are the things that we need to keep in our mind to organize our workplace, as well as maintaining a good relationship with our peers as well as colleagues, and most importantly, how to organize our work or complete our work within time with set goals, right? Shall we see? Yes. So today's topic is organize your workplace. The first thing that we come to discussion over here is working management relationship or the camaraderie, that is maintaining a good spirit of fellowship with your companions or colleagues or peers that you are working with. So benefits of a good working relationship. We all know that we need to maintain a very good working relationship with the people we are working in. So let us go and understand the benefits of a good working relationship. The main benefits of building good working relationship with your colleagues are as follows. It helps to develop your working practices, to understand the points of view of your colleague and to understand why they do things in a certain way. Yes, just like we understand our family members and work or understand, live our life as per, not as per what they say, but blending with them, as in the same way when we are spending 12 to 14 hours in office or workplace, we need to understand the people we are surrounded with, or we are living in these 12 or 14 hours with the people, living with these people for 12 and 14 hours, how it is all going to be. So understanding their strategy of work would definitely help us to understand how to get into a good relationship with them or blend with the organizational culture. Next is, it spreads good practice throughout the organization. Yes, it is a good practice throughout an organization. It sounds somewhere like a family, and the organization's goodwill also rises. It improves your networking skill. Yes, so when you are interacting, or you are in a continuous interactive mood with your colleagues or peers, it develops your networking skill to a large extent, which are vital for career development. Now you are able to improve your decision making by having a wider access of information about all aspects of your public relation campaign. Yes, just because you are interacting or on a daily basis of interaction with your colleagues, you have a wider range of information which makes your decision making much more quicker and better. The main benefits of building good relationship with your stakeholders are informed decision making for your strategic plans, cooperative solutions to an organization's goal, increased organizational effectiveness, improved corporate reputation or goodwill, avoidance of negative praise. So here it is also important that we maintain a good relationship with our stakeholders as well. So these are the points wherein we can get benefit when we maintain a good relationship with our stakeholders as well. Now, how to keep our workplace tidy? Just as we keep our home tidy and clean, don't you think that we should keep our workplace tidy and clean as well? Yes. Why? Because again, we are living here, or we are doing our work, we are staying in our office for 12 to 14 hours, I would, maybe 10 hours also. But a major part of our life in a day is in our workplace. So a well organized and a tidy workplace always gives us inspiration to work or makes us feel good. Listen, I always believed that if you feel good, automatically you perform better. So if you can look good to feel good, why not make the workplace also look good? So clean up and pick up after yourself as much as possible. Now, a few seconds of your time keeps the workplace more pleasant for everyone. If you know you are putting or you're making things dirty when you're working, immediately after the work is done, clean up. In a break, put your trash in the waste container or the trash bin. Now, everybody has a trash bin with under their table or maybe in a particular department or in a particular room. So please put your trash in the trash bin after your break. Don't leave dishes in the sink. Understand one thing, every company has janitors to work, but then they are not supposed to wash your dishes. So when you are having lunch or after finishing your lunch or breakfast, whatever you have in office, please don't leave your dishes in the sink. Wipe up spills in the refrigerator and microwave if you have in your company and if you are using them. Clear the table. Sure, there's a janitor, but they usually don't do dishes. Now, third point is don't leave the restroom dirty. You know that everybody must use a restroom and everybody uses the restroom, but treat your restrooms in the office just like you treat the restrooms or the washrooms of your home. So don't leave your restroom dirty. A quick swipe of the paper towel across the counter makes it nicer for the next person. Now, next point when we come is when you arrive at your work area each day, look for ways to improve it. Straighten the items on the counter, push up the chairs and pick up stray pieces of paper. Before leaving each day, use the last 5 minutes to make your area look better. Straighten the books on the shelf of papers on the desk. If you know that you have to leave at 6:30 or 6:35, make sure the last 5 minutes is all about your cleaning up your desk. Now you might as well have a very hectic day, the entire day. But if you can just take up the last 5 minutes to clean up your desk or clean up the area you're working, I think that's much better. Next is be aware of how the office or public areas look to your customers. Yes, for every company, customers are the most important people. So if your office looks clean or it looks tidy, organized, just think what impression do you give to your customers who comes to your office. So having tidy staff areas not only makes it more pleasant for all the work there, but also looks more professional to the outsiders. Why? Because we are what our customers tell about us. So we should not forget about that. So next we come to a very important concept that works when we are working. Yes, the time. Why time is so important? We all know that time is the only thing probably that waits for nobody. So we need to schedule and budget our time as per the workload that we have, and that is what we call time management. Now, if we go by the definition of time management, it would be using the time available to the best utility in attaining one's goal. Now, time management is the development of a system or process or a tool that increases the time efficiency of a business. Time keeps on passing, and the best we can do is to utilize the available time by managing ourselves the best way. Hence, it can be said that time management is all about self-management. Tasks to be done to manage time. That is all about our next slide. Now, what are the tasks that should be done to manage time? Number one, we must set goals. Now, why should we set goals? Because we have a limited time, and in this limited time, we need to fulfill or reach or hit the target. Next is prioritize our work. What is prioritizing our work? That is, we have to categorize work into urgent, important, not urgent, as in what we need to do just now or what we can schedule it to later, what we can delegate or what we can dump it. As per the importance of the work, we can prioritize our work. Beat procrastination. Now, what do you mean by the word procrastination? Procrastination means when you push your job to do in the later period. Something has to be done now, but then if you do it now, it is an important job, but then deliberately you push it to a next level wherein it becomes an urgent job. An important job or work turns into an urgent job. That is what we call procrastination. I would just give you a small example. Suppose you have an exam after 1 month, but then if you do not study from now and you think that I will finish it off in 2 days just before the exam, and just before 2 days you just come to know that you have to learn or study a lot, which is impossible to cover up in 2 days. That is what you did, a procrastination with your exam. That is a work which was important, which you could have finished it on time, but you procrastinated it to the future, wherein it becomes an urgent job just before 2 days of the exam. It is a complete urgent job which you might as well get screwed as well. Next comes is your manage or utilize your time well. Yes, we must prioritize our work, set goals, and that will help us to manage and utilize the time well, because time waits for none. Next comes work smartly. We will understand how do we work smartly. That is, if we can do multitasking. When the concept of time management comes, the word multitasking also comes. Now we have to analyze whether we can do 2 work at the same time. Is it possible that we can do 2 to 3 work at the same time? If it is possible and if it is not affecting the quality of the work, then we can go in for it. That is working smartly to an extent. Now if we think that there is a difference in the quality, we cannot afford to do that, and probably we won't. So we have to understand with our every job that how do we going to proceed with it. So that is your thought process towards work smartly. Next comes get things done. Now getting things done is an important aspect of managing time, because if we don't get things done, we will not be able to finish work in the proper deadlines. Achieve with more focus. Now how do we achieve with more focus? We have to have a destination, we have to have a target to hit, we have to have a focus where we want to reach with this work in the next 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. So if we don't have focus in our life, whatever we do, we won't be at all successful. Next, if we come to understanding of time management, we also have to understand the importance of goal. Just like we said that we have to set goals. What is a goal? By the way, a goal is a target, right? Now, there is a difference between desire, want, need and goal. When it comes to desire, dream, want, it is like something that we want, something that we desire, something that we are dreaming of. But when it comes to goal, it means destination or target. So, what is destination? Every day morning when you are coming to your college or office or your institute, you have a particular bus to take, right? A particular route to take. Why do you take a particular route? Because you know where is your destination. Now suppose you did not know where is your destination. So would it matter which route you would take, or would it matter which bus would you take? No. So everybody must have a destination to reach or target to reach. But what is the difference between dream, desire, need as well as your destination, target or goal? It means that your goal has to have logical explanation of how to achieve it. If you have a goal, if you have set a target to reach somewhere, if you can logically explain that how you are going to reach, to that target, that is your goal. So whenever you are talking about your goal, you have to explain or you have to answer the question how, means how are you going to reach to your target. That becomes your goal. So there are different types of goals. It can be professional goal, it can be personal goal as well as lifetime goals. Now if I tell you that I want to reach or head the department or an accounts department or a training department in the next 5 years, that is my professional goal. Now if I have to tell you that I want to get married in the next 5 years, that is my personal goal. And lifetime goal can be anything. I want to build a house in Darjeeling or Sikkim, so that can be my lifetime goal. So goal doesn't have to be always professional. It can be of any area of your life. There can be a financial goal, there can be a health goal, there can be a professional goal, there can be a personal goal as well as lifetime goal. So when we come to the slide of understanding how do we set goals, we have to understand that we need to set goals in a smart way. Smart, what is smart? S-M-A-R-T in capital. S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant and T for time based. So whatever goal you are setting, it has to have all these 5 characters into it. I'll just give you a small example. Suppose you want to reach in some position in the next 3 years. So today is 2014. So you plan or target a goal or prepare a goal in a smart way wherein you can reach in 2017. I want to reach in this position or in this, I want to complete this in 2017. So you calculate your goal actually backwards. I mean, if I want to reach in this position in 2017, where do I need to stand in 2016, where do I need to stand in 2015, and where am I standing in 2014. So you can easily set, the objectives of how you can reach to one place to another in this in-between time till you reach your goal of set in 2017. Now, it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. Now, how do I say this? Now, it has to be specific means I cannot tell you that I want to be a manager. I have to say what manager. So, it has to be specific. I want to be an accounts manager, I want to be a sales manager, I want to be a marketing manager. So, it has to be specific. Measurable. I want to be an accounts manager in the next 2 years. I cannot give it into the entire lifetime to become an accounts manager or a sales manager. So, I have to be measurable as in what I am planning to what time base or what time I am giving it to it. So it has to have a time bound as well. It has to be relevant because it should be logical. Now standing here, I cannot tell you about a goal which is unreachable or which is not logical. So if I am studying accounts, if I tell you I want to be a sales manager, it is not relevant. Or I have to say something which is related to what I am doing. So it has to be relevant, it has to be achievable as well, and it has to complete all the 5 aspects of SMART. Now, how to attain the goals? Now, I have set the goals in a smart way, but how do I attain it? Once a goal is set, chase it without relenting. Decide what is important and what is not. Build full self-confidence. Self-motivate to do the impossible immediately, and the miraculous things will take a little longer. Let each goal be positive, precise, prioritized, pragmatic, performance-based. Let the goals be aimed to be attained immediately or within a year, within 5 years, within 25 years, or a lifetime achievement goal. Next, prioritize your work or monitor how time is spent on more jobs, less productivity. Is it less jobs, more productivity, action plans, to-do list, effective scheduling, and activity logs. Now, these are certain points we need to remember when we are talking about setting goals and how to attain them with the concept of time management as well. Next, how to manage time well. Now, do not get stressed by a large number of unimportant jobs. Remember to carry out all necessary tasks. Tackle the most important jobs first. Do not waste time on trivial tasks. Now, if you can see in the slide, there is time management matrix. In this matrix, there are 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is urgent and important. Second is important and not urgent. The third is not important, not urgent, and the fourth is urgent and not important. So, if you can see very clearly, the first one is do it now. It is calling for urgency. You have procrastinated your job, so you have to do it now. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Urgent work and as well as important work. Now, the second is decide when to do. If you have an exam pending in 15 days, you can schedule it and you can decide when to start, what to start and how to start. Next comes is not important and urgent. So, basically, if it is not important and not urgent, you have to dump it. If it is not important for you or not urgent for you, you dump it, you don't do that work. And then urgent and not important, you must delegate it. So if you have just reached your office and it is a call for a meeting, and then you don't know whether it is important for you or not. You don't know whether the meeting is important for you or not, but it is urgent. So in that case, you think about it, whether you are going into the meeting, you are called for the meeting, or you would ask somebody to represent you in the meeting as well. So this is something, example of urgent but not important work. So decide on yourself. If you see the second quadrant that I have presented over here, the cause is 3 and 4 quadrant, and which leads to the symptom that is urgent and important. And yes, the cure is the second quadrant, which is not urgent, important. That means that's the best quadrant you are in. If you are not spending most of your time in the quadrant which is not urgent but important, that means you are into trouble. So try to maximize your time spending in this quadrant. That is, you complete the important jobs as it comes to you and do not procrastinate them to an urgent level. Next, we come to the understanding how to work smartly. Now, when you want to work smart, you have to make a SWOT analysis to find out. Now, what is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis. Now, when you understand your own strengths and weakness, and accordingly you see that due to my strength, what are the opportunities I am getting, and due to the weakness, what are the threats I would be facing, automatically it will make you understand how to work smartly. Like strengths and weakness, you have to find out strengths and weakness, you have to find out the purpose of the work. What is the work given to you and what is the purpose of the work? Priorities and deadline. You prioritize your work, or you understand your priorities as well as deadline. What are your priorities, or what work, what jobs are in your priority list, and the deadlines to complete it, and the cost. And the cost involved in the entire process. Achieve with more focus. Now make a SWOT analysis also to obtain more knowledge, organize time well, set sharp and clear goals, work to attain goals, to work smart, not just to work hard. So then you are working hard day after day, you are not understanding maybe what is your priorities, what is to be done first, then it is of waste. So working hard does not mean that you have to go on doing your work even without understanding what is your priority is. Understanding your priorities, setting a goal, managing your time, understanding your urgent and important jobs, and then doing a job is what working smartly is all about. Now, time once lost is lost forever. We all know that, and cannot be brought back, even if one has to beg. So manage time in the best possible way to achieve your goals. Now, manage your resource in your office. Managing your resource in your office. Next, we come to the understanding of managing the resource in our office. Now, offices are often seen as having little or no impact on the environment. However, although they are unlikely to pose a direct pollution risk, they still use significant quantities of resources, such as, what are the three resources? Paper, energy and water. Now these are the three resources we need to manage in our office. What are the three? I repeat, what are the three resources? Paper, energy and water. They also produce waste that needs to be dealt with and use transport. Now these are the three things are the main resources of the office, as well as it also produces a lot of waste. Now I would just write down these three resources, that is, first is water, next is energy, and next is paper. They are important as they stand as the resources, as well as they produce waste which has to be dealt with. Now, how do we manage resources efficiently in our office? The first point is setting a baseline, that is, work out your current performance as a starting point of improvement. What is my current performance? So that from here on we can start. Next is benchmarking. Compare your performance against similar organizations. With these three resources, how am I performing with the similar organizations that are there in the market? Third is creating an action plan. Once potential improvements are clear, you need to make an action plan to achieve them. Next, setting targets and responsibilities. The targets should be achievable with people responsible for meeting them. Yes, setting targets and responsibilities. You are setting targets for people. Now the targets has to be achievable. That is one point. Now if the targets are not achievable, you know that it is not achievable for the people, then it is going to waste. As well as responsible for meeting them. People should be responsible enough to meet them. Then the last point is monitoring and reporting. Measure your performance and set up reporting processes, reviewing actions and performance. This will enable you to learn lessons and continuously improve. So just like in our policy and procedures, or when we were talking about safety and health process, we were talking about reviewing. So it is an important thing, reviewing periodically or monitoring periodically, so So whatever things that we are planning or want to achieve in our workplace. Next we come as to the first thing, or maybe the paper part here. Use paper efficiently in the office. It is very important for us to understand the usage of paper has to be made very efficiently in our office. It is estimated that half of all office waste is paper based. So the benefits of your business of reducing this are clear. It is relatively straightforward and inexpensive to cut the amount of money you spend on buying and disposing paper. So the less paper, the better off you are. So if we can keep this in our mind, then probably we won't have so much waste to consider, as well as the use can be efficiently done. If you can see, nowadays even banks are proposing the idea of emails. Email statement via email, email confirmation. Why? Because they want to use less and less of hard copy, that is paper. Why? Because it is a kind of revolution. We need to save paper, we need to efficiently use paper. So reduce the use of paper in office in one clear short line. Reduce paper waste. Now, ensure that all photocopying and printing are produced in the double-sided format on recycled paper. Question whether you need to produce copies at all or not. If you don't need to produce copies, do not, because that is going to go to waste. Cancel junk mail and unwanted publications. Avoid overproducing marketing and publicity material by reviewing distribution list and regularly updating databases. Use electronic communications where possible to reduce printing and faxing. Ensure that your staff's comfortable with new equipment and provide training where necessary. Encourage them not to print out emails unless necessary. Now, ensure that the fax machines are set so that they do not produce unwanted header or report sheets. Reduce confidential waste costs by ensuring that the non-confidential paper collection is secure, and give clear instructions to staff as to which material is strictly confidential. Reduce and recycle paper where you can't avoid producing waste. Try to reuse it. For example, if you do not want, or if one side of a paper is photocopied or printed, and the other side, and it is of no use, use the other side when you are working, or when you are taking out some sample printout. So in this way the paper can be utilized fully. Reduce the usage of water. Now the next energy, the thing that we deal in efficiently in office is energy. Many businesses with offices are unaware of how much water they use, even when they have a meter. However, there are opportunities for substantial reduction in water use, particularly in washrooms, as these account for around 65% of water use in an average office. Reducing water use is relatively easy, and you can achieve much savings at relatively little cost. So you can cut down on the amount of water and associated water and energy cost by establishing a baseline of what your business is using currently and highlighting ways to achieve immediate reduction. Considering water efficiency when you buy new equipment, looking into the cost of automatic flush system for toilets and automatic water delivery system for wash basins, push button taps, smaller cisterns, etc. It may be worth replacing older equipment to achieve cost saving in a longer term. Then the last point would be monitoring the system for leaks or for dripping taps. Now when we are talking about all these things, as in how to save water, we must understand that these are ways where we can stop water from going to waste. Now new equipments which actually would help us to make water flow in a better way, in which the water is saved, is better for the office. As well as we must also look into the leaks if there are any, and it has to be reported. Why? Because if we can save water, we are saving on a lot of things. Next we come to energy, like make your office more energy efficient. Reducing energy is one of the biggest opportunities to cut cost and lower environment impact in most offices. With good practice, you find it possible to reduce your energy cost by half. The following quick wins may help you to cut your bills immediately. Now, what are the points? Introduce a daylight policy and end of day and end of week policy to switch off lights, computer monitors, office equipments and machinery. Switch to energy efficient lighting, insulation and draft exclusion system where you can. Encourage your employees to save energy. Check energy requirements before you buy any new equipment again. And then take the running charges into account when looking at the total cost of ownership. Think about how much new equipment could produce too, and whether it could increase your air conditioning bills. Make sure that all your office equipment is properly maintained and operates at peak efficiency. Treatment of confidential information is what we are talking about in the next slide. Let's see how do we treat confidential information. There are 3 points that we need to understand when we are treating confidential information. Number 1, the purpose. Number 2, policy. And number 3, the definition of confidential information in all. So what is the purpose? To identify information that is considered confidential and to establish guidelines for the use of confidential information. Policy. Employees must not misuse confidential information, and the definition of confidential information would be generally consist of non-public information about a person or an entity that, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to place either the person or the entity at risk of criminal or civil liability or damage the person's or the entity's financial standing, employability, privacy or reputation. Understanding the treatment of confidential information, we must also understand certain points that confidential information includes. They are as follows. That is payroll records, salary, non-public benefits information, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, state identifications, card number, passport numbers, credit and debit card information and financial account information, personal records including but not limited to information regarding an employee's work history, credentials, salary and salary grade, benefits, length of service, performance and discipline, individual criminal background check information, individually identifiable biometric information, computer system passwords and security codes, unpublished grant proposals and unpublished research data, unpublished manuscripts and correspondence, budgetary, departmental or university planning information, non-public financial, procurement, health, safety, audit, insurance and claims information, internal investigation information, pre-litigation and non-public litigation and administrative agency charge, audit and inquiry information, customer care records including customer benefit plan enrollment, claims, billing matters and data concerning human research subjects, medical records, personally identifiable medical information and all information designated as protected health information under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act or otherwise protected by law. Now these are all which can include in your confidential information. Now these are certain guidelines which you may find in your content, which I am not reading it out to you or explaining in details. Now you can find this in your content or the books that you have been provided, the guidelines as in how you are going to keep this confidential information as confidential, and the next slide is also that as well. So this basically completes our understanding of the organization or how to keep our workplace organized and tidy, nice, beautiful. Now before completing my entire proceeding, I would just again go into a scenario, because when you will be giving your question paper, when you will be sitting for your exams, understand one thing, that understanding workplace, the safety, health or the organization of the workplace or how to organize your workplace, make your workplace beautiful, is one thing, and scenario based questions are another thing which you might as well face, or you might as well be given. So these are certain scenario based questions which can be given to you, which you can answer after understanding the entire presentation that was done today, as in how to organize your workplace and keep it tidy and beautiful. So the first scenario goes like this. A person takes 10 minutes to install software in one computer. So how many computers will he able to install the software in 1 hour? So the answers or the options over here are 5, 6, 10 and 20. So obviously it will be 6. Next, you work in department A of a company. You receive a service request from a customer which has to be handled by department B as per the company's guideline. What should you do in this case? So let us go through the options once more. You should ask the customer not to send such request to department A. You should forward the service request to your manager. You should handle the request and meet the customer's requirement. You should inform the head of the department B and ask him as to why your department is getting such request. So this is something that you need to think. If you were in that place, what would you have done as per to keep a good relationship with your colleagues, with your working environment, your working people, as well as have a good organization, in a good organization to survive or work in a good organization. So I would, if you ask me, I would go for option B, that is you should forward the service request to your manager. It is not for your department, you pass on to your manager. Now your manager has a responsibility to pass it on to the department which has to take action in this regard. So understanding this scenario based questions as well as the prerequisites or the necessary things that we need to do to keep our workplace organized and tidy, we very well have understood the importance of workplace in our life after home, and the importance of health and safety in workplace, as well as organized, keeping our workplace organized, beautiful and tidy for our own good.